Hey guys.
Hello, Law.
Hey, hi buddy. How are you?
I'm good.
Hello, good evening.
So guys, yesterday we were discussing about the VTP, right? Let me open my topology. So yesterday we are discussing about the VTP pattern, VLAN trunking protocol. Right. So VTP is called as a VLAN, right? Trunking protocol. And why I'm going to call this guy the trunking protocol? Because to exchange the VTP packets, we need a trunk, right? Without trunk, you cannot send any VTP packets, right? So trunk must be present, right? On these two interfaces, right? The switch one, switch two, this guy and this guy, trunk should be present over there. So switch one we have, switch two we have, switch two to switch three, and we have this guy's or switch one we can call it. And this is the switch two, and this is the switch three, right? And this is the interface we have 0/0. This is the interface we have a 0/1. This is the interface we have a 0/0, and this is the interface we have a 0/1, right? So on this particular interface, trunk must be configured to exchange the VTP packet. If you don't have a trunk, because all the VTP packet will encapsulate with your encapsulation protocol. Right. So normally we are using the 80.1q, right? It's not recommendation to use the ISL protocol because ISL is a Cisco property. And the bad thing about the ISL is going to add the 30 byte of extra header to the normal frame, right? So that's never recommendation to use the ISL. Go for the 80.1q that has a size is just a 4 byte, right? Why do we need of VTP? The need of VTP, we have a centralized management. For the centralized management, we are using the VTP. And yesterday we have seen that we have VTP version 1, version 2, and version 3, right? Default is what? Version 1. And how many modes we have in the VTP? The modes, if I'm talking about, we have 3 modes in the VTP. We have a server mode, that's a default mode, right? But then we have a client mode, and we have a transparent mode. At the same time, we have an off mode to disable the VTP, right? So to make a centralized management, right? To make a centralized management, we are going to use the VTP protocol. So I can make a one switch as a server, or the rest of the switch will become a client. So if I'm going to create the one VLAN on a take example, if I'm going to create the VLAN number 10 on the switch one, they will replicate this information to the switch two, and switch two will send this information to the switch three, right? Same information, VLAN number 10 and 10. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 20 over there, it will send the VLAN number 20 information to the switch two, and switch two will send the VLAN number 20 information to the switch three. If I so all this guy has a switch two and has a 10 and 20, and switch three also have a 10 and 20. Somehow, if I'm going to delete the VLAN number 10, what happened? This guy also will delete, and this guy also will delete, because all this guys are client and server. So server is going to manage, right? It's a centralized management. They can manage everything. In a client, what happened? You cannot create the VLAN, right? What is the meaning of client? The client is saying that you cannot create the VLAN. But you can sync and relay the information, right? Server means what? You can do everything, like a create, delete, modify, sync, relay. Everything you can do that. Transparent is saying that, hey, I can just relay the information. That's it. I'm not going to have it. I'm just going to relay it. I'm not going to have it, just relay it. So if I'm going to make this guy the server, take example. This is client, so transparent, right? And this is client, right? So in this case, what happened? The server will create a VLAN number 10 over there, right? This guy will send the information to the switch 2. Switch 2 is what? Transparent. I can just relay the information. So do I have a VLAN number 10 on the switch 2? No. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 20, share the information of the switch 2. Switch 2 is behave like a transparent. Transparent means what? I just need to relay the information, relay it. But you do have an ability, right? You can do everything locally. It means that if I'm going to create the VLAN number 100 over there, right? It will be present on the switch 2. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 200, it will be present on the switch 2. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 300, it will be present on the switch 2. It will never share this information to the switch 1 and never share this information to the switch 3. Or I can define the name of this guy A, this guy will be B, and this guy C. I can define the state of this guy. You are the active, you are the active, and you are the suspended. So transparent means what? Everything you can do it, every single thing, but make sure that this is the only locally. And this is the reason, guys, this is the reason of them. All the server we have, right? Whatever the servers we have, all the server are present in the transparent switches, all the servers. The reason is very simple, right? Because take example, if I'm going to put the server over there, take example, if I'm going to put the server over there, right? I'll put the one server over there, and this guy server is our client side, and this is a VLAN number 10, 100 over there, and this is a DSCP. And this guy has a VLAN number 100, right? Server has created. So they will replicate this information to the Swiss 3 as well as, so Swiss 3 also have a VLAN number 100. And from VLAN number 100, we have a DSCP server on 0/2 interface. Take example, if this guy has deleted the VLAN number 100, then they will also delete the VLAN number 100. Then this interface will move in the which state? Inactive. So will this PC will get the IP address from the DSCP server? No. Your security is totally zero, complete zero. There's no security is happening, right? See, there's no security. But at the same time, if I'm going to put the VLAN number 100 servers are there in the transparent switches, right? And if I'm going to create the VLAN number 100 over there, it will not send the information to this guy, not to this guy. So does it affect on the transparent switch? No, it will not affect on the transparent switch because everything you are doing over there locally. So it's a recommendation, right? It's recommendation to have all the server behind the transparent switches. It's recommendation to have all the server behind the transparent switches. All good. So what I'm going to do, guys, over there, right? I'm going to make like this topology. And by default, the mode is what? It's a server. So I need to change the mode. If you see over there, okay. So these are the three switches we have, and I'll do one thing. Let me remove this guy. This two nodes and let me start. And 1 minute. right? And meanwhile, I'll just write on all the packets over there. So VTP packets we have. One we have a summary advertisement. One we have a subset advertisement. One we have a advertisement request. And one we have a join and to. So 4 messages we have. By default, the summary advertisement message, right? This packet is a periodic packet, which will exchange this packet at every 300 seconds. They don't have any VLAN information. They just have some VTP information. VTP information in the sense like a domain name, VTP version, which mode I'm going to use, like this. And this passage is periodic, right? So it's just going to inform this guy, hey, I'm supporting the VTP. He's also going to tell that I'm supporting the VTP, right? And he's telling that, hey, we are the member of the same domain because my domain name is in the VTP packet, the same domain name. My domain name is what? A, and your also domain name is A. Same thing, this guy is going to extend the periodic packet VTP to this guy and this guy. And he's also going to tell this person, hey, we have a same domain name, A and A. So what I'm going to consider this, all this person belong to the same domain name. Have a look. Come on. All good. And let's capture this link. Okay. First, and the most important task, we need to define the domain name. That's a very, very important. And before the applying the domain name, we first need to get the trunk, right? So I'll just gonna switch to, and on a switch to, I'm going to define the trunk, right? The reason because DTP is enabled, they can synchronize the information. So interface gig 0/0, okay, range gig 0/0 to 1, switch port trunk encapsulation dot 1q, switch port mode trunk. So this guy will negotiate it. So interface trunk, all good. I'll define the host name of this guy, switch 3 now. Do the save this configuration. On a switch 1 as well as host name, I will define the switch 1. Do the war and switch 2 as well as host name will be switch 2. Do the war. Save this configuration. And now let's define the VTP domain name, right? Again, gonna switch to, I'm going to define the VTP domain name on this guy. So if I'm going to define the ABC, this guy is empty, this guy is empty. So they will send the VTP packet to this guy and they will send the VTP packet to this guy. So they will synchronize the information, right? The domain name information. Now they will put the ABC and ABC. You can also configure over there on a switch 1 as well as, it's not a big deal. So I'm just making it a switch to Y because this look like a centralized, right? Or either I can configure this guy as well as, it's taking so much time. VTP domain name ABC now. Okay. So if you see now, switch 2 as well as, do show VTP status. Okay, why, what happened? Your ABC now, and at the same time, switch 3 as well as. Not taking, it will take, right? It's an issue with the GNS. Let's me define over there. ABC. All done. So all they have a same domain name, right? You can see that this guy changing from null to the ABC, switch 2 as well as ABC now, and switch 3 as well as ABC. Now, if you have a look over there, VTP, right? Summary advertisement packet. And I'll do one thing. I'll capture this one. And that's not a site. This is a very important part. And hit this guy over there, right? And here we have the VTP header. Not VTP header, it's VTP summary advertisement packet. So the VTP VLAN trunking protocol, all this message may encapsulate with the 80.1q protocol, right? Because I need an encapsulation. Then after that, we have a version number 1. It can be version number 2, 3. So version 1, it can be version 2, it can be version 3 as well as default is version 1. Then after that, we have a code. The code is just going to represent what kind of message we are going to use. It can be a summary advertisement packet. It can be a subset advertisement. It can be an advertisement request, but it can be a join and probe. Depend on the message type, this opcode value will be changed. Right? Then after that, float is just going to tell you, do I have any packets behind me or not? Behind me or not? Of course, if your floor 1 is there, it means that you have a subset advertisement packet. If you have a floor 1, it means that you have a subset advertisement packet. So floor 1 is just going to tell you, hey, this packet is followed by the subset advertisement. This packet is followed by the subset advertisement. If you have a value will be 0 over there, it means that there's sorry. So if you have a 0 over there, right? 0 means what? I don't have any packets behind me. I'm a single packet. I'm just sending to you, right? Just like a periodic packet. So right now we have a 1. It means that we have some packets behind me, right? Subset advertisement. Then after that, we have a management domain length. That's 3 bytes. And then after that, we have a management domain name. It's ABC. Forget this guy right now. Okay, we'll discuss later on. So if you're going to create some VLAN, if you have a look, let's go on a switch 1 right now. And so the VLAN number 10. What happened? This information will send to this guy to this guy. In which packet? In a subset advertisement packet. Can you see that? On a multicast address. And we have a version number. Code will be now changed. Previously, it was a summary advertisement. Now it's a subset advertisement. And after that, we have a sequence number. Just maintain the, just going to tell you like the duplication will be not occur, right? The duplication will be not occur. Then after that, we have management domain length and the management domain number. Forget this part right now, and we have a VLAN information. No, not this one. I have created the VLAN number 10. These are some reserved VLAN. So if you see the VLAN number 10 that I have created, and this VLAN is a part of which UI? Ethernet time. Time will be Ethernet. So whatever the VLAN that you're going to create, right? All the VLAN information will be sent in the summary subset advertisement packet. This guy, right? This guy carry the VLAN information. This guy carry the VLAN information. All good. Then after that, we have if you see one thing, let's come back to over there, VLAN 10. And if you see in the switch to also have VLAN number 10 information. and switch 3 also. If I'm going to create the switch 3 as a VLAN number 20, right? This information now the switch 3 will inform to the switch 2, hey, new VLAN 2020. See, on a switch 2 now, switch 3 do show VLAN brief 20, and a switch 2 as well as 20, and a switch 1 as well as 20. So VLAN number 10 I have created over there, VLAN number 20 I have created over there, and you do have ability on a switch 2, you can delete the VLAN number 10 and 20. So now this VLAN will be, there's no VLAN number 10 and 20 on a switch 3 as well as. There's no VLAN number 10 and 20 on a switch 1 as well as. So do I have a centralized management right now? No. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this guy a server, this guy's a transparent, and this guy's a client. So let's go to switch 2 and define this guy. Hey, BTP mode will be what? Transparent. And on the switch 3 as well as the BTP mode will be what? Client. So now do so BTP status. Client. Domain name is same, but the mode is what? Client. Same information if you go to a switch 2 and have a look over there, do show BTP status. What happened? Domain name is same, mode is what? Transparent. Oh, good. So now if you go on switch 1 and say the VLAN number 10, this information will send to the switch 2, but switch 2 will never install this information. It will just pass the information to the switch 3. So if you go on a switch 2 now, do I have VLAN number 10 over there? No, because my mode is what? Transparent. Transparent means what? I cannot install that information, but I can pass the information to the switch 3. Can I delete the VLAN? No VLAN number 10? No, I don't have ability because my mode is what? Client. Can I create the VLAN number 20? No, I cannot create the VLAN number 20 because I don't have ability. We want to switch 1 again as the VLAN number 20 now. So what happened? Again, the switch 1 will pass the information to the switch 2. Switch 2 is behave like a transparent. I'm not going to install this information. Switch 3 will install this information. Same thing, even if I'm going to change the name, for example, this is a VLAN number 20 name is coming on switch 3, change the name of this guy. Name will be. Now this name also will be flooded to the switch 3. Even if you change the state on a switch 1, I said, okay, VLAN number 20, state will be what? Suspended. This information now flooded to the switch 3 as well as A. Suspended. Right? But if you go to transparent and say the VLAN number 100, will I pass this information? No. Gonna so switch 2, so VLAN read, I have 100, but I cannot say this information to the switch 1, right? See? I'm not sharing the 100 information. 100 is only present on a switch 2. I cannot share this information. You know, transparent, you can do everything, but locally. I'm not change the name of this guy. Do one thing, change its name. Name will be what? Do so will and brief. I want to change the state. I can change the state. Every single thing I can do, but I will do as a locally. I'm not going to. That's why this is the why that this is the secure one, right? A very secure one. And this is the reason in the VTP version 3, by default, the mode is what? Transparent, not the server. Just for the security reason. And just for the security reason, to deploy the, you know, private VLAN, you need to use the transparent. Without transparent, you cannot deploy the private VLAN. All good. So what happened right now? All this guy is a part of the same domain name, right? ABC. This guy's a client server. This guy's a transparent, and this guy's a client. Do you know whenever you're going to create some VLAN, right? VLAN number 200, right, on a switch one. At the same time, what happened? Just for the integrity, right? Integrity means what? Someone cannot modify my data. What happened? All the VLAN on the VLAN database table, right? On a VLAN database table, what happened? They will perform the MD5 hash value. MD5 hash value means what? If you see over there, if you see one thing, I'll say the MD5 hash generator, and I will just write down any value, any name. I'll just put the CCI over there and generate the hash code of this person. I'm getting some random value, right? Any random value. This is the MD5 is the algorithm that will generate the hash value, and this hash value you are going to exchange between the switches. And this hash should be same. If your hash is not same, they will cannot exchange the information, or they cannot receive the information. Hash has to be same. So once I get the VLAN number 200, what is the hash value of the switch one now? Do show VLAN brief. Sorry, do show VTP status. The 090. How many VLANs we have right now? 8. 8 VLANs we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8. What is the hash? 0x90. Same hash value if you see on a switch 3, you will have. But switch 2, different, because this is a transparent. I'm not participating in the right. Again, if I'm going to change some VLAN, take example, I said that, okay, I'm going to create some VLAN over there. VLAN number 500. Your hash will be changed. Previously 90. After creating the VLAN, hash is changed. And same 0x9f, it will seen on also 3 as well. Change the name. I said the VLAN number, what's the VLAN over there? 500. Name will be done. Do so VTP status. Same 0xA5, previously it was this one. Did I create the VLAN? No, I just changed the name of the VLAN. And after changing the name of the VLAN, what happened? This information flowed to the switch 3 as well as A5. A5. What I'm trying to see that over there, guys, your hash exchange, right? If you see, this is the hash that I'm talking about right now, MD5 digest value. After that, we have an update timestamp as well as update timestamp is just going to tell you what time this information has, modified. Now the question is that, take example. Take example, this guy is what? Now this guy is a server as well as, right? And this guy also server. And this guy is what? Client. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 10 over there, take example, he will say the information of the system. And if I'm going to create the VLAN number 10 over there, he will also say the information of the system, because both network engine is present over there. At the same time, what happened? Both has created the VLAN number 10. So they're selling the VLAN number 10 information of the system and VLAN number 10 information of the system. So in the system, we have a database table. Which information I'm going to accept? How does system will accept the switch one? Sorry, really sorry. Which information system will accept? This one or this one? In this case, what happened? What Sys2 is going to do? Sys2 is going to verify the configuration revision number. Whenever switch will receive the information, whenever the switch will receive the information, it verify the CR number. If the CR number is lesser, sorry, greater than mine CR number, then I will accept the BTP packet and update the VLAN information according to the new BTP. Higher CR number is more preferred. By default, by default, CR number is 30-bit number, and always it increment by one. Whenever you change something, whenever you modify VLAN database table, CR will increase by. Right. So if you have a look, whenever you're doing some modification, right? एक minute now. What I'm saying that if you see on a switch one, what's the CR number is there? 11. Always your CR number will be present 0 by default. By default, it should be 0 over there. So if you see, if I'm going to modify something, VLAN, I say the VLAN number 301. What happened? Your CR number will be increased by 1. Previously it was 11, now 12, because I created the VLAN number 301, right? And same information you will send to the home. So it's 3. See? Here. On a switch one, if you go and say, hey, I'm going to delete the VLAN. I say the no VLAN 301. CR will be increased by 1. Whenever I'm changing, right, my database, my CR will be increased by 1. Transparent switches always set to the 0 CR number, always. On a transparent switches, your CR will be always 0. Always it's set to the 0 on the CR number on the transparent switches. So go back to the switch one again and say that, okay, VLAN number 500. My CR will be increased by 1 again, right? So now it's 13. It will become the 14. It will never decrease one thing, never decrease. Decrement is not possible. So now it's a 13, right? What I'm going to do, I see the VLAN number, which VLAN I've created, 500, right? I said the name will be what? Shadu. Whoso BTP status? 14. Previously it was 13. Did I create the VLAN? No, I just changed the name of the VLAN. 14. 14. Name had changed. Jadu. Dubdo. Right? On a switch one again, if you see one more thing, is that the VLAN number 500, and so the state will be now what? State will be suspended. 15. State is now suspended. CR will be increased. 15. So CR, what CR is telling you guys? CR is just telling you more updated information. I have a more updated information. I have a more updated information. So when this guy will send the VLAN number 10, this guy's a CR number 11, and this guy's a CR number 13. So switch 2 will give the preference to the 13, not to the this guy. Higher is more preferred. And this is the 32-bit number, a huge number. On a transparent switches, decrement is not possible. Sorry, decrement is not possible. And on a transparent switches, CR number always set to. And take example, if I'm going to create the VLAN, I'll just go to switch one. I said that, okay, VLAN number 10 to 20. How many VLAN I'm creating? Do so VLAN brief. This range of the VLAN I'm creating, right? Almost 10 VLANs I'm creating. What was the CR number previously? 15. How many times increment will happen? Only one. 16. The reason, because at the same time, I'm creating the VLAN. So only one time your database table has been modified. एक ही बार पूरा कमांड डाल दिया ना, एक ही बार database table modify होगा. Only one time your database table has modified now. That's why your CR will be increased by 1. But if I say that, okay, VLAN number 10, okay, what I say that, on a switch to, sorry, VLAN number 600. Am I going to enter the CR number over there? No, because I'm not transparent. I'm not going to do anything. CR means what? It is just going to tell you that you guys have a more updated information, but CR number is very dangerous for the day-to-day. CR number is good for the health of such. And also it is bad. It's very bad. It's depend on the person to person. So communication. And bad for the switch as well as. How? What I told you, the CR number is just going to tell you the more updated information, right? Okay, take example. See the behavior. On a switch to, just for a few seconds, I'm going to shut down this link. Come on. I'm going to shut down this link. Okay, not a big deal. And how many information I have, if you see, on a switch 3, I have this amount of information, right? The VLAN. Interface, Ethernet, gig 0/0 shutdown. All good. Now come back to the switch one. And I say the no VLAN number 10 to 20. Then do so VLAN brief. How many VLAN they have? No VLAN number 200. No VLAN number 500. और कुछ है? बस. Now try to understand. On this switches we have some server, right? And 1000 host. That's belong to the VLAN number 10 to 20. Okay. And this servers are belong to the which VLAN? VLAN number 500. So this information is present on a switch 3 right now. Can you see that? All there. But on a switch 1, what information we have? Nothing. What's my revision number on switch 3? If you check the revision number of switch 3, we show VTP status. What's my revision number? 16. Higher is more preferred, right? So go on switch 1, and what's my revision number now? 19. So this guy will send the update packet to this guy, VTP, subset advertisement. And what's the revision number is happening? 19. What information they have? Zero VLAN information. All the VLAN information will be flushed out from the system. Every single information. All this information flushed out. This is called as a VTP attack. For a few seconds, you can itself assume that, hey, I'm an attacker. See, I'm going to up this link, no shutdown. Wait for some time. Do so VTP status. आ गया 19 इसके पास. Previously it was 16, right? So switch one said the 19, and what information I have? Nothing. All empty. All the VLAN has deleted. Switch 3 has removed all the VLAN information. This is called as a VTP attack, guys. VTP CR number attack. But if you check on a switch 2, what are the VLAN 600 was there, right? I still have. See the beauty of the transparent, right? 600 is still there, right? See the beauty of the transparent. Nothing effect on the transparent switch. So whatever the servers are there, they are still secure, right? Whatever the servers are present, they're still secure. All done. So guys, what's the recommendation? Even take example, if this is the new brand switches, right? Not new brand switches, this is the older switches that you have in your, you know, in your warehouse, right? And you want to connect this switch into this domain, the domain number ABC we have. And by default, if this guy has a 500 CR number, and if they don't have any VLAN information, what happened? Whatever the VLAN you have, all this VLAN will be deleted from the table, right? That's the thing will happen, right? That's a higher CR number is more preferred. So recommendation is what? The first recommendation that always you have to prefer, that whenever you're going to add a switch in your VTP domain, whenever you're going to add the switch in the VTP domain, this is the domain ABC we have, make sure that the new whatever the older switches we have, check the CR number. It should be 0. And how I can make a 0? Do one thing, define the domain name ABC and change the domain name XYZ, and again change the domain name ABC. So previously it was ABC. The default was ABC over there configured. I changed the name XYZ. So what happened? Your CR number will be 500 convert into the 0. And then again define the ABC. 0 will be there. And now you can add over there. That's it. Simple, right? A simple way you can add this you can add this older switches into the domain, and it was working fine, because whenever you're going to change the domain name, your CR will be converted from 500 whatever the value to 0. So one is a transparent and one is a changing the domain name. Two things. One is a transparent, one is changing the domain name. Will set your revision number 0. One is a transparent and one is changing the domain name. Will set to the revision number 0. So this is the things that you have to always make a point, right? Whenever you are configuration the VTP. At the same time, next is what? If you see right now, what's my revision CR number? 19. ABC's domain name. Let's change the domain name. VTP domain name XYZ. What happened? See, do so VLAN brief. Do so VTP status 0. Changing the domain name. Your revision number will be set to the 0. Go on switch 3 now. Change the domain name. What happened? So hope now this point is all clear, guys, till this point, right? This one. So this one is clear now. This one is clear now. This one is also clear, and this one is also clear. This one is also clear. Now the question is, what is updater identifier? Updater identifier is did to behave like your router ID of your account. router ID of router. Ditto router ID of the router. Nothing is different. Only the thing is that this updater identifier here will be a switch ID. That's it. Nothing. By default, it will set to the 0 because you haven't defined it. How I can define it? I just need to go on the, and what this guy is going to tell you, the updated identifier, this is used to perform the troubleshooting. For the troubleshooting purpose, we are using the updated identifier. So that, take example, uh, if this guy is going to create the VLAN number 10, right? If this guy is going to create the VLAN number 10, so switch 1 can inform to the switch 2, hey, this VLAN number 10 is created by the 1.1.1.1. And switch 2 will inform to this guy, hey, VLAN number 10 is created by the 1.1.1. So this network engineer can easily identify, okay, this VLAN number 10 has been created by the 1.1.1. And who is 1.1.1? The 1.1.1 is a switch 1. Understood? Same thing. I can define the updated identifier. This guy is a 3.3.3.3.3.3. So if this guy is going to create the VLAN number 20, it will inform to the switch 2, and switch 2 will inform to the switch 1. Okay, VLAN number 20 has been created by the 3.3.3.3.3.3. So the role of updater identifier is what? So that a network engineer can easily identify, okay, this information has been generated by this person, this information has been created by this person, this information has been modified this person. That is the use of updater identifier. It's like your name, right? You do this thing, your name comes in the picture. All good. So how we can define the updater identifier over there? We just need to create the SBI. You are not going to define manually, like in the EIGRP and OSPF. What happened? You need to go on the particular process and say the EIGRP router ID, something like this command. Here it's not like that. What we have to do, I just need to go. I just need to go to interface, VLAN number 10. I said the IP address will be what? Our interface VLAN number 200. IP address will be what? Uh, I need to tell this VLAN number 10 because this is the SPI and VLAN number 100. If you see, do so VTP, do so IP interface brief first of all. Right. Okay, I need to move so down this keyword as well as no VLAN. Because we need to up this interface, right? Oh, it's up now. Great. And come on, it's great. Do show IP interface brief, right? And here we have. And if you now verify one thing, do show VTP status. What we have over there, guys. The local identifier I'm choosing. Which one? 101. The reason to choose 101, I have a 2-1, right? The reason is choose 101 because of the lowest number of VLAN interface found. This one, just because of the lowest number of interface VLAN number, right? That is the VLAN number 10. I'm making the 101 as an updated identifier. Just because of this person. So if you now have a look, the beauty VLAN number 200, right? Use the VLAN brief. I have a 200 now, and it will affect to the switch 2 as well as switch 3. Why? Okay. Those guys are okay. One minute. VTP domain name. Says okay. Can you receive it now from the trunk? To say it was from trunk is that system. Actually, haven't defined the name on the system as well as 1 minute. Status to say it was it's there, right? So it should be receiving. I'm not listening. Let me shut down this interface range. Details as to one shut down. Because I haven't defined the name on this guy. VTP domain name was different, right? This was XYZ. This was ABC, and this was XYZ again. So the domain name is different, right? So if the domain name is different, the BTP packet will not make sense. So I need to set the XYZ again on this guy. And here we have .xc output. Let's come back to the sys3 and now wait for some time more. Come on, get up. Yeah. And now do show VTP status. Come on, why are taking so much time? Let's do one thing. Let me get the norm of VLAN 500. Share the information to the sys3 now. Please, I need to restart my devices. I think so. Okay, Ekvindra. VLAN more. Now it's getting right. Okay, do show BTP status. Can you see that? And who is 101? This guy. So if you're sitting over there, you can easily identify who has modified my database, the VLAN database. That's the use of updater identifier. That is the use of updater identifier. And if you come back to the switch one again, and if you see one thing, I can show you. Right now, this is the local identifier 101, right? What happened if I'm going to remove the VLAN number 10? For example, I said that no interface, VLAN number 10. I remove type, complete interface, right? Is there any VLAN number 10 interface? No. So what happened? Now your updater identifier will become the VLAN number 100. See, automatically. Did I modify anything? No, it's a temp is enabled. And if I'm going to again create the VLAN number 2 over there, and IP address I'll define it's 2.2.2.2.2, and I said the no shutdown and VLAN number 2 now, because to make a to have a SBI of the VLAN number 2, you must need to have VLAN number 2 information in our database table, right? So now all good to show VTP status. So can we see like this? This is the permission is enabled. Yep, can we see like this, right? The permission is enabled. Is updated interface for the switch for VLAN. It's for the VTP, not for the VLAN, not for the switch. It's for the VTP. All good. So this is all about the guys VTP revision number concept, VTP this concept now. So I'm done with this part as well as now. Then this part is complete. This one is complete. This one is complete. This one is complete. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Anyone has a questions in the VTP packets now? In the VTP summary advertisement packet and subset advertisement packet. Subset advertisement packet is what? It's just going to have a VLAN information, nothing else. This is your subset that's contain the VLAN information.
हेलो सर। सर हेलो।
बोलना भाई, सुन रहा हूँ।
सर ये एक डाउट है सर।
बोलना
सर एक्चुअली VLAN is a logical interface, right?
SBI, that is called SBI, switch virtual interface. Yes.
But while configuring IP address, you put a no shutdown command.
Mhm.
Is it really required, sir, that no shutdown command for
Because your
logical
SBI,
interface?
see, your SBI is not a pure, logical interface. Your loopback is a pure logical interface. Because to have a loopback, we don't need to define, we don't need, the router is not lookup for anything in our local database table. But to create a SBI, the switches is performing the lookup, the same VLAN information in the database table. If they have, then it will up that interface. If they don't have, they will not up that interface. So that's why it's a recommendation to manually up the interface in the SBI.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Anyone has? No. Okay, perfect. Guys, so same way, this is the small command. You can apply the VTP password as well as if you want. If I want to apply right now, then it will drop the neighborship price. That's why I'm not. You can use this command, VTP password, to just authenticate my device into the VTP. So, and you can check the show VTP password command to verify what password you have configured. Right now, I haven't configured any password. That's why it's showing you. So if you want to configure it, you can configure it. Not a big deal. VTP password will be what? A. Same thing. VTP password will be A. And VTP password will be A. So VTP password. Just for the authentication, right? To authorize the device in the VTP domain. Nothing else. All good? और क्या पढ़ा? एक मिनट दे दो। चाहूंगा मैं तुम्हें काम कबे। ये कब से बोले फालतू तुम बोल जाती है। Setting is not there to stop this call. गूगल असिस्टेंट, एलेक्सा, जूम आजकल बोलने लगी, सारी लड़की की आवाज में, लड़का की आवाज में कोई नहीं बोल रहा। PD is not this one. VLAN trunking protocol, that's a VTP, and here we have to go. Just have a look the the information about what we can get out there, right?
तो आपको लड़के की आवाज चाहिए क्या?
Yeah. Cisco has developed a method to manage the
आपको
VLAN.
लड़के की आवाज चाहिए क्या?
अरे नहीं रे, तू पढ़ ले अभी यहाँ पे। Develop the method to manage the VLAN across the campus network. The VLAN trunking protocol uses a layer 2 trunk frames to communicate with the VLAN information, right, among a group of switches. BTP manages the addition, deletion, and renaming the VLAN. Renaming, so we can change the name across the network from a central point of control. This is the most important, guys. Any switches that are participating into the VTP exchange is aware of and can use any VLAN that VTP manages. One thing he didn't mention over there, addition, deletion, renaming, and also you can change the state, right? Modify the VLAN. You have to define the VTP management domain name, right? That is nothing but just going to define the area, right? Area is what? Same goal, right? A common, a group of device. A switch can belong to the only one VTP domain name. It's not like that, okay, on a switch one, we can define the 3 domains. It's not possible. And sharing the VLAN information with the other switches in the domain. Switches in the different VTP domain, however, do not share the VTP information. For example, this is the switch 1 and this is the switch 2. We have a 2 different domain name. This guy's a ABC and this guy's a XYZ. They cannot share the VLAN 10 you have created. They cannot share the information to this guy. And this guy's created the VLAN number 20. They cannot share the information to this guy. never exchange, right? That's the meaning of last line. Switch in the different VTP domain, however, do not share the VTP information, right? Switch in the VTP domain advertise the several attributes. Attribute means what? Here the attributes is going to represent that this one. And what is the attributes? This is called as extra information. What we call extra information is known as attribute. Done. Extra information is known as attribute, guys. After that, sorry, to their domain name, and each advertisement contains the information of the VTP management domain name that we have seen VTP version and VLAN information as well, right? When a VLAN is added to a switch in a management domain, other switch are notified of the new VLAN through the VTP advertisement. That is called as a subset advertisement packet. All switches in the domain can prepare to receive a traffic. Now pay attention. Prepare to receive a traffic on a which interface? Trunk port. This line. And that's why we're going to call this guys a VTP, VLAN trunking protocol. Take a minute. And then after that, we have a VTP modes, guys. So VTP modes is nothing what is like a participant in the VTP management domain. Each switch must be configured to operate in a one several modes, right? The VTP mode determine how the switch process and advertise the VTP information. That already we have discussed. The server mode, like just एक बार पढ़ लो इसको क्या होता है. VTP server mode has a full control over the VLAN creation modification of the domain. All VTP information is advertised to the other switches in the domain, while all receive the VTP information and synchronize with the other switches as well as. By default, a switch in the VTP server mode. Note that each VTP domain must have at least one server. So एक domain में एक server तो होना necessary है. The VLAN created, modified, and deleted, and VLAN information can be propagated. Client, भाई साहब मैं कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता. Cannot. Instead, they can listen the VTP advertisement from the switches and modify their VLAN configuration accordingly. Accordingly is what? Whatever the server is going to send to me, I will change according to the server information. In effect, this is a passive listening. Passive listening is what? I can just listen it, but I cannot do anything. Receive the VTP information is forwarded out of the trunk links or to the neighbor switches, right? In the domain. Transparent. Follow. Done. Or office VTP. Done. ऑफ मोड तो क्या होता है, इसको मैं बाद में पढ़ा दूंगा, छोड़ो इसको, आपको गोली मारो. बाकी तो कुछ है ही नहीं. तो चीज दे रखी इसमें. समरी एडवांस पढ़ा ही दिया. पैकेट्स क्या होते हैं. सबसेट एडवर्टाइजमेंट. एक सबसेट एडवांस का पढ़ लो यार. समरी पढ़ लो, इसको सही रहेगा. The VTP server and send a summary advertisement every 300 seconds and every time a VLAN database change occur. The summary advertisement list the information about the management domain, including the VTP version, change number, this thing, right? Number of subset event to be follow, right? So ये कौन सेंड करेगा 300 सेकंड पे? सर्वर सेंड करेगा. कौन करेगा? सर्वर. नेक्स्ट वन, VTP domain server send a subset advertisement after a VLAN configuration change occur, right? This advertisement lists the specified change that have been performed, such as creating, deleting the VLAN, suspending or active the VLAN, changing the name of the VLAN. All this information will be present in your subset advertisement packet. बाकी तो कुछ है नहीं. Everything is done. Advertisement equals leave it right now. I haven't discussed this part, that's why I'm leaving it right now. ये पढ़ो. Done. Whenever the switches receive a VTP advertisement with a configuration revision number that is greater than the value that is stored locally, it consider the advertisement to contain newer information, and the switch will override its own VLAN database with the new database information. If the newer version contains irrelevant information, because of this, it is a very important to always force the any newly added network switch to have a division number, जो तुमको मैंने बताया था अटैक से प्रिवेंट करने के लिए, that you can do that. और क्या पढ़ाऊं इसमें, बाकी तो कुछ है नहीं. VTP configuration we have seen. Pruning अभी देखेंगे नहीं. Then VTP version we'll discuss this thing, right? What's the main difference? ये तो खुद से पढ़ के आना यार तुम लोग, ये ना पढ़ के आना, ये टास्क तुम लोग का. What is the difference between version 1, version 2 and version 3 as well? ये पता करके आना. 3 दिन 4 दिन है ना तुम्हारे पास. You have a Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Find it. What is the difference between version 2 and version 3?
It has redundancy,
Redundancy बोलो तो
primary server and server.
it's a in a VTP version 3 it's happened, not the VTP
Yes.
version 1.
Yeah, only on version 3.
Pruning तो बाद में देखेंगे. So guys, here I'm done with the almost 80% of the VTP. 20% still here. Pruning here we have and trunk allowed and the summary subset advertisement request packet and off mode. These are we'll discuss on the Monday. Any questions?
सर कल क्लास नहीं है क्या? अब कल बोला
कल
था
कौन सा दिन है?
फ्राइडे है ना सर, आप ही बोला था फ्राइडे क्लास
PGP.
लेगा ऐसा कुछ.
मैं बोला था क्या फ्राइडे को क्लास लूंगा?
हाँ वही है, 8 बजे को मैं क्लास लेता हूँ, आपका पूरा विलन खत्म करेगा ऐसा कुछ बोला था ना सर आपको.
बोला था क्या?
हाँ बोला था सर.
तुझे बड़ा याद रहता है. अच्छा
ठीक है सर.
रुको, एक मिनट रुको.
सर और एक चीज है सर,
बोलना.
विलन में कैसा वो MTU चेंज करना है ना सर, वो कमेंट थोड़ा दे दो सर.
विलन का
MTU
कौन सा MTU चेंज करना है?
हाँ.
इंटरफेस पे जाके कमांड मारना है ना. स्टॉप हो गया. इंटरफेस पे जाके कमांड मारते हैं. इंटरफेस 0/0 ले टू MTU चेंज करना है.
हाँ लेयर 2 है ना सर विलन.
हाँ तो ले चेंज होते हैं MTU खत्म हो गया. कितना लगाना है. चेंज क्यों करना है? किस लिए चेंज करना है?
पता नहीं सर, वो आप एक डॉक्यूमेंट दिखा दिया ना सर, उस पे था वो.
पे था.
हाँ उस पे था,
इस पे था.
वो सर्वर में.
क्यों चेंज क्यों करना? मुझे ये पता था उस पहले.
नहीं नहीं सर, वो एक
चेंज क्यों
स्टेट
करना
है.
चाहता है मुझे ये पहले बता तू. अरे चेंज क्यों करना चाहता है ये बता तू पहले.
ये एक सर.
क्या? अबे मुझे पता चल गया है वो भी MTU का, वो कहीं पे दिखा, मुझे भी दिखा. क्यों चेंज करना चाहता है ये देख ले, इसमें है.
नहीं सर उधर था ना सर थोड़ा.
अरे क्यों करना चाहता है मैं वही पूछना चाहता हूँ. क्यों क्यों चाहिए तुमको चेंज करने की? क्या क्या जरूरत है तुझे चेंज करने की? मुझे ये बता. चेंज करके दिखा दूंगा मैं, दैट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. क्यों जरूरत है तुझे चेंज करने की? ये बता.
जरूरत तो नहीं है सर, वो
जरूरत
देख
नहीं है
लेना
ना.
सर.
बता दूंगा मैं, कमांड दिखा दूंगा मंडे को. फिर नहीं तो डिवाइस ऑन करना पड़ेगा मुझे. फिर 5 मिनट डिवाइस ऑन लगा दिखा दूंगा कमांड में.
मंडे तो
I'll
में
tell
हो
you guys.
जाएगा।
Okay, जब MTU पे बात आई तो मैं तुझे बताता हूँ क्या। Guys, pay attention. देखो, sometimes what happens, this kind of question they will ask you in the interview, and this is the like, people's actually they don't know why do we need to change the MTU. तुमने देखा होगा कहीं पे, you have seen this part in the production if you are working, right? Some guys have MTU 2000, some guys have 5000, some guys have 1500, some को 1000. Right, happen just because of the business requirement. Just because of the business requirement, we are changing the MTU. ऐसा नहीं है कि अपने मन कुछ भी चेंज कर दूं, ऐसा नहीं है अपने मन कुछ भी चेंज कर दूं, because your MTU, if you're going to change your MTU value, right, it will affect on your many things. Your TCP also affect, your congestion management also affect, many things they will affect over there. और मेन तो यही है, TCP congestion management मतलब क्या हो गया, डिले, तुम्हारा बैंडविड्थ, सब कुछ उसी में। So just because of the business requirement, we are changing. So if somebody will ask you, hey, why we are changing the MTU over there, just say that just because of the business requirement. If you just tell him, they will not ask you any questions over there. If they're asking in a very deep way, then you have to learn the quality of service in a very deep way. But if somebody will ask you, but they will not, normally they are not asking, hey, why do we need to change the MTU? Just say the business requirement, right? Which MTU will has to prefer over there? The default is 1500 on Ethernet, right? You can go with anyone, but it's not recommendation until unless you are not like, until unless you have to ask to the design engineer, right, and ask them, okay, should I change the MTU and what MTU value I'm going to use over there? Then you can go for it. Otherwise, no, never. समझा? इसलिए change करते हैं MTU. प्रशांत.
यस सर।
Yes, sir. प्रशांत तू कहाँ से है?